To solve the problem, we need to begin with the consumer problem, to understand the consumer that each problem faces, in other words. They're going to want to maximize over Q greater or equal than 0, 100 square root of Q, that's the benefit from consumption, minus PQ, that's the cost of buying the good Q, minus P pi Q. Notice that this is the cost of permits necessary to consume Q units, given that when the price of permits is positive, the consumer is not going to want to buy extra permits, so the number of permits that he's going to buy is exactly Q. The first order conditions for this problem are going to be 50 divided by Q equal to P plus price of permits. And our interior solution, we're going to have that the Q, which is going to be interior in this case, that the demand in the market for both quantity Q and permits is going to be equal to 10 times 50 squared, this is just pure algebra, divided by P plus price of permits squared. Now we also know that producers or firms have constant returns to scale cost function in production of Q, which implies, and by the way, the marginal cost is equal to mu, so this implies an equilibrium. We've seen this 1,000 times in this course. The equilibrium price of Q is going to be equal to mu. Now what we're going to do is look at the permit market. Oops. Look at the permit market. We're going to have that in equilibrium, the number of permits, this is the number of permits, has to be equal to the quantity demanded, which is equal to 10 50 square P plus P pi divided square. Now let's look at case A. When pi is equal to 50, this implies that 25 is equal to 2500 divided by P plus P pi square, which implies that P pi is equal to 9. And when the number of permits is 500, this implies that 50 is equal to 2500 divided over P plus P pi square, which implies, doing the algebra, that P pi is equal to square root of 50 minus 1. Notice one interesting feature. This is not part of the problem, but for your intuition, in this case, the number of permits is equal to the optimal quantity. You can compare that with what we discussed before, and therefore the price of the permits is equal to the optimal Pigouvian tax.